Motor Week, television's original automotive magazine. Brought to you by Castrol Super Clean All-Wheel Cleaner. The cleaner that releases brake dust and road grime from all types of wheels on contact, no matter what age your car. Castrol Super Clean All-Wheel Cleaner. And by Michelin, makers of the Zero Pressure Michelin. Designed to let you drive up to 50 miles at 55 miles per hour without air pressure. Just what you expect from Michelin. Your host for Motor Week, John Davis.
Well, hello and welcome again to Motor Week. We're glad to have you with us. It's a great time to be a sports car enthusiast, with more open-air Roadsters available now than at any time since the 1960s. But how do you choose which one is right for you? Well, last spring, we took on the very thankful task of comparing a trio of German sports cars: the Porsche Boxster, the BMW Z3 2.8, and the Mercedes-Benz SLK. While each car has a different personality, the one big mechanical difference was that the Z3 and the Boxster had manual shift gearboxes, as you would expect in a true sports car, while the SLK used an automatic transmission. But what we didn't know at the time was that for 1999, Mercedes was preparing both a manual transmission for the SLK as well as a more aggressive sport package. So is this then the SLK sports car fans have been waiting for? And how does it now fare against its rivals? Our trio of drop tops are the best examples of classic roadsters since the heydays of the 1950s and 60s. And while they all wear German badges, they are each unique. When it comes to traditional front-engine, rear-drive sports cars, both the Mercedes-Benz SLK 230 Compressor and the BMW Z3 2.8 qualify for consideration, while the mid-engine Boxster represents the preferred approach of Porschephiles. At a glance, the SLK 230 bears a close resemblance to the big SL-class Roadsters, yet is actually based on the C-Class sedan. The interior is retro chic two-tone, accented with vintage chrome and ivory-faced gauges. For $19.99, the most notable interior change is a new Bose stereo. The clever folding steel hardtop remains the same, making the SLK the only true four-season convertible in our tests. But the biggest difference between the SLK and its competitors is in the drivetrain. While the Z3 2.8 and Boxster sport 6 cylinders, the SLK is powered by a 2.3-liter supercharged and intercooled 4-cylinder engine. This force-fed 4 is compact, yet it pumps out a hefty 185 horsepower and very usable 200 pound-feet of torque. When we initially pitted our three Roadsters against each other last spring, the SLK was the only one without a manual transmission. While the automatic did the SLK fine, the foot-hand coordination required by a manual gear shift is a good degree of the enjoyment of a sports car. Well, for $19.99, while the SLK's engine remains the same, the way it delivers power has changed. SLK now comes standard with a 5-speed manual gearbox. In addition, the SLK experience can be enhanced with a new Sport Package option. The Sport Package provides a more grown-up lower front fascia with projector beam fog lamps, ground-hugging side cladding, and a similar treatment at the rear. In keeping with other Mercedes Sport Packages, tires and wheels are upgraded. Larger 17-inch wheels support serious 225/45 Z-rated tires on the front and even fatter 245/40 treads on the rear. While there are no other suspension changes, Mercedes mounts the SLK on a sophisticated multi-link suspension and gave it trick standard features like a sophisticated traction control system and ABS with new for $99 electronic brake assist. BAS makes sure all the SLK stopping power is used in an emergency. All for a price of $40,000 even to start, with the Sport Package adding another $3,990. Our test car also had metallic paint for a total of $45,185, including freight. Next up, the BMW Z3 2.8, clearly the most faithful to the classic Roadster tradition. The addition last year of a 2.8-liter inline 6-cylinder to the entertaining Z3 made the American-made BMW far more inviting. With its widened flanks, hunched-over low-profile tires, and gaping front air intake, the Z3 2.8 looks quite the bruiser, and back set up with a big 2.8-liter straight 6 crammed tightly under the hood. It makes 189 horsepower and 203 pound-feet of torque. Both manual and automatic 2.8s are available. A limited edition M Roadster stirs things up further with a larger 3.2-liter 6 delivering 240 horsepower and 236 pound-feet of torque through a manual gearbox only. The Z3's interior is as purposeful as the drivetrain, offering drivers as businesslike and tight a cockpit as that of an old MG or Alpha, but with more of the modern touches BMW owners expect. But you do have to make choices, like can I live with the standard manual drop top or pay extra for a powered one? Regardless, all is suspended above the road by a 3 Series derived front strut and rear trailing arm suspension. And cost? How about $36,770 to start? Add leather and metallic paint and our test car totaled $38,445. The M Roadster is pegged at $43,270. The third of our trio is the only one with the engine behind the cockpit, the Porsche Boxster. While the Boxster skin was clearly inspired by the 550 Spider, mechanically it is a very different breed from past Porsche efforts. The most critical change is the Boxster's flat 6 engine, which is now water-cooled. And for the first time since the 914 was canceled in 1976, the engine is mounted amidships ahead of the rear axle. Displacing 2.5 liters, it cranks out 201 horsepower and 181 pound-feet of torque through a 5-speed manual or 5-speed Tiptronic automatic. While the whole 2,822-pound package, the lightest of our trio, rides on a capable McPherson strut suspension. The rest of the Boxster offers a fine selection of modern upgrades, such as a surprisingly comfortable interior and an efficient dash. The power soft top folds quickly and stores flush with the body. It's pure Porsche with a good dose of modern conveniences, all for a price of $41,000 to start. However, adding typical options like cruise control, a compact disc stereo, leather trim, 17-inch wheels, and metallic paint, and you're at the $47,182 level of our test car. The Boxster is not a 911, but is not cheap either. But while price usually influences the decision of which car to buy, it's performance that is the strongest motivation for sports car enthusiasts. With that in mind, we hit the track, specifically the road course at Pennsylvania's Pocono International Raceway. First up is raw acceleration. Launching easily thanks to its excellent clutch feel, the lightweight Boxster posted a 0 to 60 time of 6.7 seconds. Next up, the Z3 2.8. It ran an even better 6.3 seconds to 60. Its inline 6-cylinder strong bottom end pushing it hard off the line. As in our initial test, we were pleasantly surprised at the SLK, which delivered a 6.9 second time despite having the smallest engine and the most substantial weight of our group. The new 5-speed manual has longer throws than the Z3 or Boxster, but it also allows you to work the gearbox with more determination and authority. Since the SLK has a supercharged engine, keeping the revs up is a little harder than with the automatic, but the trade-off is a big boost in driving fun. Into Pocono's curves, however, the mid-engine Porsche moved to the front, offering better balance than any rear-engine Porsche ever did. Manners are nimble and steering is sharp. But Boxster power is concentrated in a fairly narrow band above 4,000 RPM, which required plenty of shifter work. The Z3 2.8, on the other hand, was all torque. Its big 6 launching it out of corners with minimal use of the gearbox. Front plow is more pronounced, but its muscular feel pleased many of our drivers who compared it to classic roadsters like the Triumph TR6. Surprisingly, the revised suspension of the M Roadster adds little to the overall handling experience, but it is the easiest to slide around the corners. Despite being the most luxurious roadster of the group, we've consistently been impressed with the SLK's handling. Now with the combination of more gear control and more tire, the SLK can be seriously considered by sports car purists. We found the steering feedback continues to be excellent and better than the Z3 2.8. Not having too much weight over the front wheels also gave the SLK rock-solid stability, yet you can point the car accurately with a massage of the pedal. Our conclusion? That each of these cars is a valid interpretation of the Roadster legend and that they are different enough not to overlap and appeal. The Porsche Boxster is everything we can think of in a modern car that retains the Porsche spirit. It is fast, forgiving, and fun to drive. But its purest nature will also make it the car most likely to remain garaged in winter or for that slow, boring commute into the city. The BMW Z3 2.8 reminds us most of the traditional long hood, short deck roadster of yore in looks and in performance. It also has highway manners that require the most skill to master. But once done so, it is the kind of car you see driving with the top down on a 40-degree day. With its steel retracting top, the Mercedes-Benz SLK 230 was our pick as the best year-round roadster in our first comparison, and our opinion on that is stronger than ever. It has the best ride, the most comfort, and a lot more luxury and convenience features than you have a right to expect in such a concise machine. Now, with the 5-speed manual and sport package, the SLK adds the edge that a sports car needs to be taken seriously. What's great about these three cars, besides the fact that they exist at all, is how each has remained true to the personalities of their brands. Even blindfolded, you won't mistake a Mercedes-Benz SLK 230 compressor for a BMW Z3 2.8 or either one for a Porsche Boxster. They are, if you please, true to their schools. We think that individuality is why each car is so successful and why so many wide-eyed applicants are standing in line to learn what the classic Roadster experience is all about.